Good morning. Sorry you guys, I have been like running around like a crazy person all morning. So I'm just getting situated now. I have a lot of fun stuff to go over. Let's see. There we go. I just didn't want to leave you. All right, I had a quick call. I have a lot of awesome things to go over with you guys. I just got back from Nashville. So I went to our uplines house, Nathan and Jenny Oates, and they took us through an amazing training, all about the DISC training. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that. It's like a, not a personality training, but like a behavioral training, and it was like a really intense. We did a lot of other things too, but they tested us on our behavior, right? Because we all have all of the behaviors and all the personalities, but they tested us on our exact, behaviors and what motivates us and what we're afraid of and how to spot that in someone or a leader or potential builder. And you can use this information on yourself, on your marriage, on your children, with everyone around you. And it was just like really eye-opening. I've been studying these kind of things for years. I'm actually really fascinated with the different trainings. I've done a video before on GEMS. I used Danny Johnson's GEMS, and I feel like this, what we learned, the DISC training, was like a deeper version of that. So we went pretty deep. I mean, we were crying by the end. It was awesome. And so I want to share some of the cool things that I learned, but it's probably going to go in a few different videos, right? Because I just can't put all of it into one, and I'm just going to give it to you in a couple short videos, and it'll be a series. And there's just a way to get all in it. And I want to say I'm not an expert at this, and I'm not certified like Jenny's certified. I'm just going to share just some of my takeaways, right? So if you want to dive deeper, I'm sure there's books and websites, and you can get your own certification if you want it. I have no interest in getting certified in this. I'm just fascinated by it, because the first day we learned all about ourselves, right? And then the second day we learned about, I have it all in here, what motivates us, or how you communicate, how you behave and how you communicate. And then we learned, how do you lead knowing this information? And once you know the people who you're leading, then you will know what motivates them, how do you talk with them, and basically you want to be learning everyone's behavior and what drives and motivates them with everyone around you. So it's like another language, so then you can talk to them in their language, right? The way that they understand it, the way they're motivated, and then you can understand why they do what they do and why they've said something or made a decision or not, right? Because some things are not motivating to us, and we'll figure out why. And so anyway, it was just really awesome information. So yeah, I see a lot of you guys getting on and you're excited about it. Side note though, one of my biggest takeaways was from a random conversation. So they brought in two really awesome guest speakers, and three, because one was a husband and wife, a couple team. And one of the guys, his name was Jeff Goins. He's a social media expert, right? So you can look him up. He's like 70,000 followers on Facebook, and they gave us his book, Real Artists Don't Starve. So he gave us a signed copy of that book, and then we had Dan Miller and his wife. What is his wife's name? I have her book too, Joanne Miller. Okay, so we'll be hearing more stuff about that in the future, but one of the takeaways after the presentation, we were up late after dinner just chit-chatting and talking about business and social media and all that good stuff. And one of the things that he said, he's like, well, what do you do when after someone buys something from you, right? Or they join your team, they buy a kit. What do we say to them? And I said, well, I tell them, welcome to the team, right? Or you'd say, thank you for your order. Mostly I say, welcome to the team, because we're excited to bring them onto the team, right? And he said, I don't know if he said that was wrong, but he said he had something better, and it was, you would say great choice, right? Excellent kit. You're awesome. That was such a great decision, you know, great decision on going natural for your home. And he said it was like if you go to a restaurant and you order your steak or your salad or whatever you order, and the waiter says, or waiter or waitress says, great job, you're like, yeah, that was a great job. That was a great order. Like, I'm excited to get my food because I just made a really good choice. And so you're just like reaffirming them of their choice. So I just thought that was really cool. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start doing that differently. So when someone orders from me, I mean, of course, I'll still welcome them to the team, but I'm going to reaffirm that. That was a great choice. You know, that Home Essential Kit is everything you need to get started. Great job. You know, great job on making your family healthier or whatever. So that was just a small little nugget that has nothing to do with the training, but I just thought that was so genius, and how come I never heard that before? Anyway, so now we know what we can say, and people like to be reaffirmed of their decisions. I know I do too. So what I'm going to do, and I hope you guys have paper and pen, because I'm going to talk really fast and give you some good nuggets. Again, I don't even want to try. There we go. What time is it here? I'm going to keep track of my time. 1:10. I got on a few minutes late again. I was just like running around like a crazy person this morning, so I'm so sorry. But I'm going to go just some basic information the first week. So today is, let's just try to figure out ourselves, right? So as I'm reading different things, figure out, like, is this you? Does this sound like you? Okay? So you don't have to start figuring out your team or anything like that. Although I think your mind will go there. My mind kept going, what's my husband, right? How can I read my husband? And then how can I read my kids? And so again, this applies with life, not just with your team, right? Or the people that you're bringing on. But then once you figure this out, so either the next week or the week after, we'll talk about, okay, if you are talking to a person with this personality behavior, this is the kind of thing that you would say to them to motivate them to make that decision, right? It's all saying the truth, but you're just saying it in their language where they understand it. So it's very cool. We're going to dive deep really fast. Again, there's no way I'm going over everything. But when I came home, I was just talking about it with my kids and my husband, and it's just kind of fun to kind of discover what we are, right? So again, it's a universal language. It's observation of human behavior. Again, I am not an expert. I am not certified. I just want to say that. I'm just sharing some of my notes and takeaways, okay? So there's 4 main parts of the disc. So it's DICS, okay? And D is like the driver. They're the dominant kind of behavior. They're very focused. I'm going to go through very fast so you guys can listen to the recording, and I'm going to say some of the behaviors of a D trait, okay? This is important to know for like in the other weeks coming when we say D or they're an S or something, then you know what I'm talking about. So again, after I'm done reading these, you'll be able to know, like, that's 100% me, or you can say that's 100% not me. But it's good to know these things. Okay, I'm going to just rattle them off. So the D, they are direct, daring, decisive, demanding, domineering, forceful, innovative, competitive, result-focused, blunt, bold, self-starters, aggressive, responsible, strong, goal-focused, problem solvers. They're quick, challenge-focused, persistent, authoritative, and they're the leader of the pack. Okay? So I don't know if any of you guys, and I'm going to dive a little bit more deeper in this, but I don't know if any of you guys are like, that is me, right? I'm all those things. And a person that, again, you're all of the behaviors, all the sort of personalities, but if you're a strong D, right, you will say, that is me. We're all going to be all of them. So sometimes you might be really strong, but then another time you might be something else, and that's really fine. Their primary emotion is anger, okay? A really high D, like a person who has like really high on this behavior, is only 3% of the population, okay, to be really high in this And I know this is a total crash course in it. Again, if you watch my video on gems, then you know it's a deeper version of that. I'm all of a sudden getting dry throat here. They are more on the extroverted. They're task focused. So they like to get their list done. They're direct people, like to be direct, a little bit more impatient. Not saying any of these are right or wrong. This is just how they are. They can be more refined. So you can be this person and be a refined version of this person, right? They are looking for results and efficiency. Okay, so their high emotion is anger. They're slow to anger also. Or is there low emotion? We're not going to go high-low. Never mind. Forget about that part. Again, we're doing the crash course. They're quick-paced, outgoing, and they love to grow. When they make decisions for buying, they're quick to make decisions. They like new products being the first and the really high-quality products, like the best out there. They love change, okay? For conflicts, they will fight back. Communication is more formal, to the point, straightforward, and business-like. Even driving their car, they're sometimes fast or in a hurry, or they might be late. And not because they're driving slow, it's because they probably have so many things going on that they're late for their event, right? Their office would look like this. It'd be easy to clean, shows status, it's efficient, and they have a really long desk sometimes because that shows status. Okay, again, this is not everybody, but this is just the majority of those 3%. Okay, their emails are usually direct about results and action. When they talk, they have a lot of hand gestures. Okay, for goal settings, they love goals with high risk, and they set a lot of goals. Okay, and as I'm reading this, I would love comments if you guys feel like you are relating to this. I would love to hear. Okay, so organization, they're efficient but not always neat. For reading material, they love to read business books or even the Cliff Notes. Risk factors, they love taking risks and probably sometimes a rule breaker. Okay, when they stand leaning forward. Stress relief, they like physical activity. So if they're stressed out, they will go for a run or lift weights or some sort of activity. For talking on the phone, little chit chat, they just like to be direct, get to the point. Okay, even the way they walk is fast. Okay, they are very valuable to the team. Okay, they are about the bottom line, organized. They can be a self-starter, very forward-looking. They value time, challenge-focused, love a challenge. They'll challenge the status quo, innovative, love competition. They love solving problems, so they're great with solving problems. And they delegate task but not authority, so they do like to be in charge. Okay, so I'm trying to this is probably a lot of information. I might skip some of the other stuff. So I'm gonna stop for the D's because there's just another small section that I can go into. But basically, they like results. Okay, they like challenge. Okay, do any of you guys? And you don't have to be shy, but does any of you guys, after hearing that, does that sound like you? Because what we want to do is, first of all, we want to identify yourself so you know how you are. It's not good or bad, right? But then when you're working with a D, you know what to say to motivate them, or how to bring them onto your team, or just how to communicate with them, right? And it's just so beneficial to know why we do what we do and why other people do what we do. Hey guys, okay, so next is the I. Okay, again, these are for people that have full, like what we call them high I's. They're really high with this behavior. And again, we all have all of them, good and the bad. We have all of them. Okay, so the I's: influential, inspiring, imaginative, intuitive, enthusiastic, charming, popular, confident, open-minded, persuasive, convincing, generous, social, talkative, emotional, generous, personable, self-promoted, and poised. Okay? And again, I'd love to hear, when I was reading that, do you guys feel like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's me. Let me know. I'd love to hear about that. Their primary emotion is optimism. So they're a very optimistic person. About 11% of the population are very high I. Okay. Are you guys liking any of this so far? Tracking? What are your thoughts? You guys frantically taking notes? So the next one, more about the I. They are extroverted, people-focused. They love working with people, right? Joey says it's probably her, right? They're more indirect, a little bit disorganized. They are looking for fun and experience, right? Their high emotion is optimistic. Okay, they are fast-paced. They love working with teams, on stage, socializing, being the life of the party. Okay, sometimes they love talking so much they might interrupt people because they're so excited, right? They're just full of excitement. So Monica says her hubby 100%. Ruth says sounds like me. Joey, probably me. Awesome. I want to hear you guys because this is good for us to know too. Like, it's good to know everyone on your team, like what drives them. Okay. When we were at our week, it wasn't a week retreat, it was just a couple of days, but it was so much fun getting to know everybody because we had different personality behaviors in the room. And so we were just able to like, okay, we know what you're thinking because this is what you are, right? I mean, of course, the test was really in-depth, big time, like very, very in-depth testing. It was a 45 or 50-page report on yourself after you were done taking the test. So this is just like scratching the surface. But for high I's, this is how they make decisions. Okay, quick decisions, sometimes impulsive. For change that's happening around them, sometimes they might not even notice change. If conflict comes, it's a flight or run. They do not want to get into it. Communication is friendly and informal. The way they drive their cars visually, and usually like the radio's on. The way they decorate their office is like contemporary shows, awards, or experiences, right, or achievements. Karen says probably her. Email writing is wordy, disorganized, warm though, and people-focused, okay? With talking, they use gestures, hands, and face. So they're using everything, okay? For goal setting, they're not that good at goal setting, and they don't really like goals. Organization, disorganized, lots of piles everywhere, okay? For books, they like reading fiction or self-improvement books. Risk factor, a little bit more moderate, not as high as the D's. They love high risk. Rules, they might break them, but it's unintentionally because they probably don't even know all the rules. Okay, they don't stop to read every little detail. When they stand, their feet are more spread out versus like being closed. They're more open. For stress relief, they like to interact with people, talk to people. On the phone, their phone calls are gonna be long. They love talking. Talking to others. Verbal, they love talking, but I will say they love talking, but they probably have more poor listening skills because they are the ones who interrupt. They just can't wait to talk again, right? And then they walk wide, and then sometimes they'll actually walk into things, okay? Monica says, oh my goodness, I think I have been fighting on myself, trying not to be some of those things, ha ha ha. So yes, see, everybody has all of them, okay? So we're all the different personalities, discs, behaviors, right? But some of them are very strong in one. Some of them you'll find yourself, oh, I'm this and I'm this, and that's normal. You could be high at two different things, okay? But anyway, so they are also very valuable to the team. They're optimistic, great at problem solving. They motivate others toward a goal. They're a team player. They negotiate through conflict. They like to verbalize. They're great presenters, recruiters, and they get people in a room, okay? They just love working with people, but they don't necessarily like all the detail, and they definitely don't like to be controlled. Oh, and one of my other, you know what? I know, it's funny. It's so good, I just put all the information in my top. So with the D's, I forgot to say these things. These are really good. So I'll finish the I's, and I forgot a few things on the D's. So actually, this page is actually good enough. I probably don't even need to go into all the other detail. So with the I's, okay, they are the talker, the cheerleaders, the socializers. Their main focus is they love attention, okay? Their fear, the greatest fear, is loss of freedom, okay? They do not like anyone telling them what to do or being controlled in any way, right? They will say things like me and I feel. They're very emotional. They like to make decisions based on emotion. Things that zap the energy of an I, okay, would be negative people, negativity, if things are not fun, if they don't control, like if people have control over them, or tasks. They don't like a lot of tasks. Okay, so that's the I. The D, going back because I forgot to say this, they're the leaders and the go-getters. Okay, their focus is results. They love results. They have a fear of being taken advantage of, losing or not winning. Okay, they say things like "I will" and no excuses. They will get it done. Okay, what zaps the D's energy is passivity. Basically, people are being passive, not growing, and if there's no challenge, that zaps their energy. Okay, so that's the D, that's the I. Okay, those people are most likely, they're both fast-paced and they're both extroverted. Okay, this is good stuff here. Marcy, I see you just hopped on. I'm sure Becky will be going over all this with you. We probably already went over it with her. We're just going over light introduction to this stuff that's so awesome and life-changing, right? So now, the next person I'm gonna go over is the S. I'm gonna start on this page. Okay. So the S, they are the peaceful supporters. Okay, they're steady, stable, secure, sympathetic. Okay, their main focus is on others. They love to care about other people. Their biggest fear is loss of security, right? So they like things that are stable and secure. They say things like you and I feel. They're always thinking of someone else, okay? Some of the things that zap their energy would be conflict. They do not like conflict. Insensitivity. They do not, Marcy is saying that she's an S. Okay, good, you already know. Being rushed. They don't want to be rushed into things. And conflict. Again, they do not like conflict. That will zap their energy. So some other things with an S would be, I said steady, stable, secure, supportive, predictable, understanding, possessive, inactive, friendly, systematic, good listener, team player, patient, sympathetic, and family focused. Okay. Oh, welcome everybody. We got a lot of new people coming on. Okay, so those are some of the things with the S's. Okay, very steady, supportive. Their primary emotion, and this was shocker to me, non-emotional. So they actually just don't show their emotion. They have a lot of emotions, but they do not show it. I am getting a lot of hearts right now. Raise your hand if what I just said was you. I just want to hear, and then I'll tell you the percentage of the people. She goes, that is my mom. It's my mom hat. Ruth says, I'm an S as well. They are introverted. They are people focused, so they love people. They are indirect, okay? Possessiveness, they really like to take care of the things that they have, right? They're looking for stability. High emotion is non-emotional. They're not going to show every emotion, okay? But they're very aware, very concerned, very loyal, so much to the point that sometimes they're too nice, maybe, right? Raising your hands that you are the S. How many more people feel like they're S? Let me tell you, if you are an S, this is your behavior. It's really kind of, now not everybody is going to be all one, right, or all the other, but once you start learning the different behaviors of a person, it's pretty scary how much you're going to know about them without really ever knowing them. You'll just know everything. It's pretty cool and pretty scary at the same time. Okay, so, which is important because we work with people all day long. We're working with people. So again, today we're figuring ourselves out, right? But then you can start figuring out your spouse, your kids, your team, your top leaders in your team, right? And then you can figure out what makes people buy. Once you know how they buy, what's important to them in life, and what motivates them, you can motivate them to get to work. You can motivate them to purchase because you know them. It's interesting. Disc training, Monica. This is all the disc training that we learned over the week. Okay. How they buy. Slow, traditional. They like things to be traditional. Change, they do not like change. Conflict, they're tolerant to it, but they like it to be warm. Communication is relaxed and open. The way they drive is relaxed. They're relaxed when they drive. The way they decorate their office would be very homey or family focused. Maybe a lot of pictures of the family. They are very motivated by the family. Okay? Not that the other ones aren't, but they're really excited about that. Email writing is long with lots of information. Hand gestures are smaller, so less hand gestures. Okay? Goal setting, they like short-term goal setting, not very long-term, right? Low risk, and they probably will use a list to check off their list, okay? Their organization system is a system that they follow. They don't have to be the creator of the system, but they want a system that they can follow. They like to read books about people, fiction and nonfiction. Risk factor is moderately low. They don't like a lot of risks. Rules. They like to do things that are to the rules and they're time tested. Okay, they don't need to break the rules. They like to stick to the rules. When they stand, they'll lean back and maybe their hands in their pocket. Okay? Stress relief. They will love to take a hot bath or sleep. Relax them. Talking on the phone is warm and friendly, and they're very concerned about other people. Okay? Even when they talk to other people, it's always concerning the other person. They're concerned with them. When they walk, it's steady and easy paced. Okay? They're very dependable, and they will work very hard for a cause. They're very hard for a cause. Stable, logical. They like to do things in steps. Slower paced. Okay? And they're okay with that. They don't have to be first. They will take their time. Okay? They'll be very loyal to what they are working on and who they're working with and what they believe in. Okay? They like long relationships. Okay? They will work for personal attention and the recognition for the tasks. Okay? So after reading a little bit more of that, how many of you guys feel like you are an S? So because 69% of the population are an S. So the D was 3, the I was 11, and the S is 69. So most of the people that we're going to be working with or ourselves are going to be an S. Okay? So again, even if you don't, if you're not that, you need to know about it, right? Because you're going to be working with a lot of them. Okay, this is really interesting. Raise your hand. Is this interesting? Are you guys learning something? Have you done stuff like this in the past? I really want to know what you're thinking Okay, Ruth says I am an S. Awesome. And as I'm doing this, not like you have to be thinking about your spouse or your front line or your kids, or maybe if you have a job, the people that you're working with right now. Some people are easy to spot, and some they're maybe high in both, so it's harder, but you can kind of like get into their head a little bit. Okay, Monica is that. Okay, the C is the last one I'm going to talk to you about. Okay. It's so good, all this stuff here. Hold on, I'm getting notifications. Okay, the C, I'm going back to here right now. We have an entire binder on this stuff, you guys. I mean, there's just tons and stuff. Okay, so the C, they are the thinker and the fact finder, okay? They are compliant, correct, conscious, okay? Their biggest focus is accuracy. They just love accuracy. They love being right. Again, the facts, the figures. Their fear is being wrong. They don't want to be wrong. Okay? They say things like it and I think. Very like to the point, like the facts tell all. What zaps their energy is when people have no plan, or they're foolish with their plans, or they don't know what's going on. Okay? Let me get into a little bit more detail. They are conscientious, conventional, courteous, compliant, can be a perfectionist. They're mature. They like proof and evidence, fact finder, diplomatic, high standards, patience, loves the details, cautious, logical, critical, analytical, sensitive, data collectors. Okay. You know, I forgot to put what percentage this is left, but if you did the math, we could figure that out. So I'm not going to do it on the spot. I'm horrible with math. But, okay, so their primary emotion is actually fear. Okay, so their primary emotion is fear. The S was non-emotional. The D's were anger, and the C was the I was optimism. Okay, so their primary emotion is fear. They are introverted, task-focused. They're also very direct. They will be the people at the classes just like wanting to know every detail, okay? And they're very direct to ask, but it sometimes sounds like they're being critical, but they just want to know the facts, right? They're looking for information. That's what they want. They just want lots of information. They want time to plan. They're very aware of what's going on. They love steps and training, and they love to ask questions about quality, science, proof. Christy says that sounds like her. Good. How many other people sound like a C? Just wondering. The way they buy things are slow. They like proven products. Okay? About change. They are worried about change. They don't like change. They like to avoid conflict. They are logical, detailed with communication. The way they drive, they are the best drivers. Okay? And they're very careful. They have, in their office, they love graphs. They love facts and graphs and information in their office. Email writing is to the point. Their hand gestures, they're very reserved or little to none. Goal setting, they are good at safe goals. Okay, it has to be safe. Organization, everything is in a place and it's perfect. They like to read nonfiction or technical journals. Rules, they are by the book, right? They will not break the rules. And they know all of the rules, okay? They stand maybe with their arms folded. They're probably thinking, right? On the phone, it's short or long. It could be either one. But there's little chit chat. It's all like data, okay? Talking to others is too direct sometimes, just because they want clarification. They want to know the facts. Where if you're talking to someone who is not a C, they might feel like they're being very direct because they just want to know everything. But the C is motivated by that. That drives them, right? and they walk in a straight line, they're probably never going to walk into something like the I's are walking into stuff. Okay. Monica says, mostly I, but I drive like a C. Yep. And Bruce says, I'm a little C, the driving part. Okay. And you can have one that you're really high in, or two that you're really high in, or one that you're high in, and one that you're like, I'm like, that's my next one. And then you can say, I'm like none of those other ones. Everyone's different. What we learned is that you have some primary behaviors, right? Then you have some that you're indifferent on, that you're like, it could go either way. And then there's some situational that they can go higher or lower depending on your situation. So if you're in this situation, you're going to be super one thing, and then maybe later on in your life, like, I don't really care about that. It was just you needed to be high in that behavior for that certain situation. Okay, so it's really cool. So this is like the basic, the beginner, the introduction. If you guys have heard this before, you're like, I know it all, and I'm sorry I made you listen to that again. But what's really cool is that, again, once you know yourself, oh, hold on. I want to say this other thing, and then we'll go into that. But actually, I'll finish this. Once you know yourself, you know why you do things, right? And then once you know your team, again, you know why they do things. There was a lot of aha moments when we were talking, because if you're not wired that way, and someone else acts a different way, you might be wondering, like, what the heck? Why are they doing that, right? You don't get it, because it's just so different of how you're wired. And you could be married to somebody who's totally different. So there could be that. Like, I know my husband and I, we started doing personality training a long time ago, and we were so different with personalities that we're like, well, now I know why you do that. Now I know why you do that. It's not an excuse for some of your behaviors, right? But you can be refined in your personality behavior type, right? So once you know it, you'd be like, okay, well, now I can refine myself and be a little bit less of that, if it was something that you wanted to change, but everyone has all of them. Okay. Monica says it makes sense. Karen says, wish I was more C because high I. Yep. Here's what C's bring to the table, right? They're objective thinkers, conscientious, high standards. They like definitions. They clarify things. They test things out. Task focus. So if you give them a list of things to do, they will do it, right? Probably on their own time, but they will do it. They like to ask a lot of questions. They have attention to details. They know everything. They do. They know everything. Disciplined to get the work done. So they are disciplined. They're just at slower pace than maybe a D would be. Where a D was like, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it all today. Where a C would be like, I will do it all, but on my own pace. And probably after I've researched, then they will do. They probably have to research it all before they do anything. Where a D would just go do it without researching. Okay? And an S would be like, who would this help if I did this? And an I would be like, how can I have fun doing it? Right? So it's just really interesting. I don't want to go over too much because it's a lot. So next week, we'll talk more about probably leading your team, right? So in closing people that have these different personalities, because once you know more, or maybe we'll dive in more deeper what we did, but like, again, if someone came to your oil class and they're asking certain questions, then you know that they're this personality, you kind of know what to do with them. Or someone's on your team, if they're this personality, if they're driven, you give them a challenge, they're going to go do it. If they're the D, so it's really kind of cool. So I guess for some homework for the week, right, if you want, just figure out, based on all of those things, you can re-listen to this if you didn't write everything down, what do you think you are? Okay, that's the first thing. And then if you want to start kind of guessing what would be your front line, or what would be maybe a family member, it's just kind of cool. And if your team if they're already working, you should probably have them watch this, right? So then you can say, what do you think you are? So if they're watching, again, some people know right away and some people won't, and that's fine. But if you can actually ask your team, say, what are you? Like, where do you think you are? So then you can go back and be like, okay, now I know why you do that, right? Now I know why you've asked for every detail, or now I know why all you want to do is have fun, or now I know why you just want to be the best, right? Or now I know you want to save the planet, right? There's all different things, but it's going to make sense. So, any questions? I know I just said a lot, but I love it. It's very interesting. It's really good stuff. Did you guys learn anything? Have you guys done anything like this before? I'm just wondering. And then I'm going to end the call because I don't want to go too long here. Actually, next Monday, I'm going to be in the Dominican Republic for the incentive trip. Completely forgot about that. So I will probably get someone to do the call next week because on Monday I'll be traveling. I'll be in the air. So okay, people are saying. Okay, Monica says, "What are you? What do you guys think I am?" Just wondering if you guys have any thought, and then I'll tell you. Thank you, very interesting. Christy says, Joey says, thank you. I love stuff like this. I do too. Marcy says, good stuff, Bonnie. Thank you. Monica, smiley face. Karen says, thank you. Awesome, you guys. So I will have someone in here next week so you guys can have a video and some fun. I am, Marcy says I. Yeah, so I'm a very high I, but a very close D behind second. Okay, and I'm like, then a little S and like 0 C. So not organized, so not into details. I'm very driven by having fun. Love just having fun, right? I also like getting results. That'd be my second one, right? But it's not my main focus. I like doing it, right? And then I do like helping people. It's not, let's see, steady, stable. I'm totally not stable. Like even our family, we move all the time. I hardly notice, right? My main motivation, unfortunately, isn't to be, I wish I was Mother Teresa, but it's, I like to have, let's see, the cheerleader, being the talker, right? I'm not going to be the peaceful supporter, okay? And then the thinker and fact finder, I'm like 0, just to be honest with you guys. I do a lot of research, but not because I'm driven by it. It's because I have to do it, and I should do it, but I'm just not going to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours researching something because I'd rather go do it. Anyway, and there's goods and bads about all of them. Okay, Monica says, so awesome. Bonnie says, Ruth says she thinks I'm a D, and Nikki says, Joey says, I totally see that. Yep. And hopefully for my videos that I do, hopefully you guys get a feel for who I am. Sometimes I feel bad that I'm not like the most detailed person, but I think once you learn more about personalities and behaviors, you're just not going to be all of them. So for a long time, this is actually one of the things that I said when I was there, for a long time, I didn't want to do videos. I didn't want to put myself out there by doing these kind of things because I am not the best at details and accuracy as far as every single fact. Like even if someone asks me an oil question, I'm like, I don't know, I've got to go look it up because I don't know everything. And if I did, I forget. So I just like going and doing and having fun and inspiring others. So sometimes that was holding me back, honestly, where I'm like, well, I don't know everything. I don't do my classes the best because I'm sitting there reading stuff. It's because I don't know everything. So sometimes I felt like that was holding me back for a long time because I just felt like I have to be everything and I have to be perfect at everything. And so I'm glad that I could be honest with you guys and say I'm not that way, and I am working on being refined in all of the areas, right? But I'm glad that we can be in a business where we can be who we are, right? We're constantly trying to be better, but not trying to be something who we're not, right? So sometimes I'm not the best with giving step-by-step tasks to people, and that would hold me back because I'm like, I should be a task person to share my tasks with others, but that's just not how I am. So I learn from other people and try to like learn from everybody else, and you can be you. So if you're not me, or you're not someone else, or you're not your upline, that's okay, because everyone shines. There is a need for everybody in the team, right? Everyone does their own thing, and they're going to do their own thing really awesome, you know? So if you are feeling like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, that's okay. Everyone is different. Everyone has different gifts, and they're unique, right? Marcy says, you're doing so well within your zone of genius, and we benefit. So thank you. Yes, and it's hard because everyone has insecurities, right? So anyway, I'm glad I was able to share that with you guys. Kind of set off that you know I'm not perfect. We're gonna try to be, but I try, but totally fail every day. Fail forward. So I hope you guys have a great day. Again, I'll miss talking with you guys next week. I will try to be doing some Insta stories or different things from social media, so you guys can kind of check out the incentive trip and visualize yourself going there next year. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right, guys, keep the comments coming. All right, bye.